Hey gang, Radar here, and today I'm going to show you my Rifleman Loadout. Now I want to let you know first and foremost, I am not sponsored by any of the manufacturers or distributors of these products, nor am I paid to tell anything at all about them. Sit back and enjoy, and here's my loadout.
Okay, so here's my full loadout. You'll see later on in this video that it all fits together nicely and compact. I'll go over some of the individual components in just a second, but first let's go through the rundown real quick of everything that's here. Now, every item in this image goes on the field with me except for the Odin speed loader and some extra BBs. First, we'll start off there with my rifle. It's the G&G CM16. I'm running the Mobius action camera on it. And then if you notice there, when I hit the field, I have 9 magazines that I can take with me. 4 of them are high caps and 5 are mid caps. My sidearm is the Smith & Wesson M&P 40 non-gas blowback. I always take some extra batteries on the field with me. I usually hit the field with one in my gun and then have 2 backups in case myself or someone else needs an extra one. Of course, there's the iPro that you always have to have. I have my comm set up. I've got the Bayphone UV5R5. I've got a headset and an antenna relocation cable with them. My vest is the Akita tactical vest. Other things that, of course, you always hit a field with are your dead rag, some ace wraps for the medic rules, and I always carry a multi-tools with me. I've got a Gerber that hangs on my hip, and then that multiple Allen wrench kit that's right there in the middle of the picture, because you never know where you're going to need it to make adjustments or anything like that. It never hurts to have some extra CO2 cartridges with you when you hit the field, and always a good pair of gloves. Okay, so the first individual component of my loadout that I'm going to tell you about today is my rifle. It is the G&G CM16 R8L. Now this gun was about $200. I picked mine up off of Amazon, but Amazon has since pulled it down, and now the only place I can see that you can get it for around that same price is on evic.com. The gun came with a battery, a smart charger, and an optic already installed. I didn't like that simple red dot optic. It didn't really work with my playstyle, so I traded it out for the Reflex. You can see in this picture here, I've also added a vertical grip made by G&G that I got from Evic for about $9, and I added some of these rubber rail guards that you can see here to kind of keep and protect it from there. Now this gun, when I got it brand new, straight out of the box, without any adjustments or upgrades or anything like that, it was hitting 385 feet per second with .20 gram BBs. It was so consistent at 385 that we actually thought there may be a problem with the chronograph and ended up looking at something else. All I've had done to it is I've had it flat hopped, and I had a programmable fire control MOSFET installed in it, and this thing just flies, and it is an awesome gun. I love it. I use it at every event, and it is the go-to weapon. And if anybody is looking for a great entry-level gun, this is the one that I recommend you go for. Now, adding on with any rifle, you got to have magazines that go with it. When I run on the field, as you saw before, I can go out there with a total of 9 magazines on me at any time. I have typically start off with the one that came with my gun, the G&G CM16 there, but I also carry 5 of the Modify 190 round mid-cap magazines. These things, I tell you, are awesome. Yeah, I'm sacrificing about 110 rounds compared to other high caps, but I don't have to wind them at all. They're easy to load, they're rugged, they're durable, they're made out of great polymer. These things are beast mode, and if you're looking for some good mid caps, I strongly recommend going with those. The other ones that I run, and I hate to say it, I actually run them as a backup, or if somebody else on the field is running low, needs a new mag or something, is the high caps. I got the Matrix brand 300 round high caps that you can also get from evic.com. The next component that's attached to my rifle here is the Mobius action cam. I had a special mount made by one of my teammates, Thorn, that's a quick release Picatinny mount. It's awesome. So if you're looking for anything like that, definitely hit Thorn up whenever you see him. But this camera is by far the top one that I've seen and I've tested and ran with. A lot of the other action cameras like the Contour and the Sony action camera, those are great cameras by all rights, and don't get me wrong, those are great cameras that take great video. However, most of the time you're going to want to run them in the protective case because they are a larger camera with a bigger area to hit, and in those cases you end up having the fish eye on them. This camera doesn't. This camera you can run at 1080p at 30 frames a second, or the mode that I prefer to run in is at 720p at 60 frames a second. Now there is a Model 2 of this, the Mobius version 2, that is running 1080p at 60 and 720 at 120 frames per second. That is probably going to be my next investment as far as a gun camera goes. Now we're going to go to one that may be a little bit controversial, and that's my Sidearm. Why the controversial? Because I prefer non-gas blowback. A lot of people swear by gas blowback. Myself, I don't. I have the Smith & Wesson M&P 40, and it is a non-gas blowback. Granted, the weapon is completely plastic. It seems and feels like it's completely just a toy almost at times. The replacement mag that I bought off of eBay is for one that's either the gas blowback or non-gas blowback. Weighs more than the gun itself does. However, the two in combination just feel perfectly great. Now, why do I prefer non-gas blowback versus the gas blowback? It's simple. With a gas blowback, you're going to get anywhere from 2 to 4 on average magazines worth of shots out of it. But this non-gas blowback here, 15 rounds per mag, and I can go anywhere from 15 to 20 mags. You're talking 200 and to 300 shots without having to change out a CO2 cartridge. I know CO2 cartridges are not that expensive. They're not terrible, but at the same time, I like to conserve, and I like to be able to do there and not have to run off the field to go change out a CO2 cartridge. Now, of course, you can't go out there and sling BBs at anyone if you don't have some BBs. Personally, myself, and my preference is .28 gram BBs. I run them both in my rifle and my pistol, and I have no problems with them at all, and I actually get the accuracy and the distance that I want out of them. Now, in my experience, I have used the Vulcan .28 gram non-biodegradables, the Elite Force .28 bios, and Deadeye .28 bios that you can get from airsoftresupply.com. My personal preference is the .28 bios from Deadeye from airsoftresupply.com. Now, when I'm on the field, I prefer having that open line of communication between myself and my teammates, and I don't like necessarily having to yell all the way across the field throughout a whole 2-day event, because then my voice is gone. So I went out and I got myself the Baofeng UV5R5 handheld radio. My first event that I went to, I just had the simple little earpiece with the push-to-talk mic that comes with the radio, and it was alright, it worked, but it just wasn't that great. Not saying that it's not a good earpiece and mic, but it just wasn't for me and my style of gameplay. So I went out and I got myself a headset that you can get for about $15-20 off of Amazon. Put the link below down in the description for that particular headset that I run, and so far it seems to be working out just great. Another thing that I found at my first event when I was running the comms is the antenna. It was in my way, it kept poking me. I didn't like how it was set up, so I went out and I spent a little bit of money and I got an antenna relocation cable, and now my antenna is securely fastened in the MOLLE clips on the back of my vest, and it's out of the way. It makes everything nicer and neater and more compact, and I don't have to worry about loose wires or the antenna poking me or anything like that. Alright, now I wouldn't be able to get out on the field with all of this stuff if I didn't have anywhere to put it. That's where my Yakita tactical vest comes in handy. As you can see in the picture here, it has 4 different double mag pockets, so I can fit all 8 of those extra mags that I take on the field with me. It's already got the pistol holder right there, and on the edge of the pistol holder is an extra mag pocket. The pocket up in the upper left hand corner fits perfect with my Baofeng UV5R5 radio, especially whenever I put the antenna relocation kit in it. This vest has a lot of really neat stuff in it. I encourage you, if you are looking for a new tactical vest, to get this vest. It's lightweight. It has a pocket in the back where you can put a hydration bladder in, and if you don't have a camelback, I personally run a camelback as well, and it fits perfect under there. It's highly adjustable. I'm about 6'3", 175, 180 pounds. A buddy of mine is about 6'4", and probably 230 to 240, and this vest fits us both perfect, and it even has room to go in smaller if you'd like. So even some juvenile players, some teenagers, stuff like that, it'll fit them good. It fits the big guys, it fits the little guys. It is an all-around great vest for only the low price of about $40-45 on Amazon. Lastly here, the last piece of my loadout is by far the most important piece of any equipment in any loadout that any player could ever have when stepping onto an airsoft field: eye protection. The ones that I use here are the Pyramex indoor-outdoor mirror finish safety glasses. They are a full seal eye protection. They're lightweight. The picture you can see here has a elastic strap in them. I took mine off because with my hat I tuck it up underneath the edges of it. It works great. I had no problems whatsoever with fogging on them. They have ventilation already in them. They're lightweight. The best part about having the indoor-outdoor mirror finish is that you can stand out in super bright sunlight and then go immediately to indoors, to darker areas, into shade, and you don't have to worry about your vision going messed up. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're out in the bright sunlight and you have sunglasses on and then you have to go to darkness or shade, those darker sunglasses will restrict your vision in there because it's already darker. On the other side, if you have the crystal clear ones, they work great in the darkness and the shadows, but you step out into bright sunlight and then you're having to squint because the sun's in your eyes. These protect you 100%. They are awesome. I actually, to test them out, went out at 20 feet with my rifle, .28s, shot them, both lenses, 3-round burst on each, didn't even leave a dent, didn't leave a scratch. At the last event I was at, I was crawling around in the woods and hiding in brush and everything. Nothing. Not a scratch, not a dent, not a nick, nothing on these. The link down below in the description to the page on Amazon where I got mine from. They do have other colors and darknesses of the lenses and whatnot, but these black with the indoor-outdoor mirror finish, by far, hands down, are the best in my opinion, and I think they're going to do great for anybody else who would like to have them. So as you can see, everything fits nice and neatly into one tight little package here. Again, the only things that aren't included in this that were in the original picture is the Odin Sidewinder speed loader and the extra bag of BBs. I'd have them sitting at the fob somewhere where I'm able to reload, and just in case I needed them there.
So there's my Rifleman Loadout. If you like any of the products that are on there, any of the items that I use, most all of them, there's a link down there in the description to where you can see and you can view it and you can actually buy it. There's a few items in my loadout that are unique and specific to me, and I don't include a link on them because I honestly don't remember where I got them at. But if you got any questions, leave a comment below. As always, give a thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed, subscribe to our page.